like to begin again today by just remembering what a masterclass is, so that we can set the intention for the highest possible healing and synthesis of knowledge today. The masterclass is a class in which we have the intention of mastery. So it's not that by the end of this 30 minutes you will have become a master of chakra healing. It is just by setting the intention, we allow all of the knowledge and the wisdom brought forth in this masterclass just to wash over us and to synthesize with our highest selves. It's also a time to devote ourselves fully to the mastery of a practice, not by getting it all done at once, but by fully immersing yourself and opening to receiving the wisdom and the healing every step of the way. So we begin then, now that we have an understanding of what a masterclass is, with our agenda for today. So we have 6 major topics we're going to cover, and then we're going to talk about registration for our Chakra Healing Intensive course, which is coming up this fall. So we'll begin by just understanding why even bother doing chakra healing, and what is the purpose of it outside of just energy healing. We're then going to go into the 12 chakra system, and I'm going to explain that to you. That is the basic system that we work with in our course. Then the attunement process. There are attunements in each of our courses here at Pleiadian Institute. So we've already talked a little bit about it in our first masterclass, and today we're just going to go deeper into exploring and understanding the attunement process. And then we're going to talk about how chakra healing fits into the spectrum of multidimensional healing. And finally, we're going to dive into Tantra, which is the philosophical system that the chakras were born out of. And we're going to explore the divine feminine healing that occurs when we engage deeply with our chakras. And finally, we're going to explore the concept of transcendent health again. This is another theme that runs through each of our courses here. And we're going to explore how the process of chakra healing, in the way that we move into it in this course, helps to bring transcendent health. And finally, as I mentioned, we're going to explore registration for our Chakra Healing course, which has 2 tracks, a certification track and a healing track, and we're going to talk about each of those. So let's just dive right in. So we're going to get started with exploring why chakra healing, why devote our lives, why devote our healing time to this practice. And the reason is because chakras are really the blueprint of how energy flows throughout your entire body and energy field. When any one of your chakra centers is blocked or unstable, it affects you mentally, emotionally, physically. It can affect your everyday life in many different ways. So what these energy centers do is they regulate how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I've been practicing chakra healing since 2005. And what I can say is that there is always negative energy and toxins that we pick up from our environment, from the people around us, and from our own thoughts and reactions to events in life. And because our energy centers are the foundation of our body's health, our chakra centers are so important to tune into, because that energy builds up slowly. And after a while, you can feel out of balance, unhappy, unsatisfied. You may manifest a physical disease or illness, or just not be able to move forward in one area of your life. And so this energy in your chakras affects the cells of your body, your thoughts, and your emotions. Your chakras then are the centers in your body that all energy emanates from. And so any minor or major physical or mental ailment can always be tied to a major chakra center in your body. And the reverse of that, through chakra healing, you can address any physical or mental ailment. You can bring healing to any physical, mental, or emotional condition. And so understanding that, you understand, just like all the organs in your body, all the cells in your body, your chakras are active 24 hours a day. And so understanding how to work with these energy centers within your body becomes essential to our overall wellness and health. So there are many systems of chakra healing. There's a 7 chakra system. There is the 12 chakra system that we use here at Pleiadian Institute. There's also a 21 chakra system. You are most likely familiar with the 7 chakra system, which is depicted here. All of the chakras exist within your body, and you can see, although they exist within your body, they're still connected energetically to your auric field. You can see like the energy surrounding the man here pictured is going through his body and surrounding his body. You see each of the elements, air at the top, then fire, then water, then earth. You see all of those moving through his body and through his chakras. So this is the traditional system that especially in the West, that we see when we are introduced to the chakras. First, we're going to explore these 7 chakras. And I've used some traditional Hindu depictions of the 7 chakras. And that is because the chakra system came from the Tantric tradition, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And this tradition is very rich with icons of the chakras that were created at the time that the whole chakra system was being developed. So often we see this very simplistic version of our chakras, especially here in the West. And the reality of it is that our chakras are actually very complex, and they're not as simplistic as red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. As a matter of fact, here our Muladhara, which is the root chakra, is typically depicted as just a red, the symbol in the center. But you see here that there's actually a four-sided shape that's emanating from the center of the chakra that is yellow. And then you see in the center of the chakra all of the depictions of the deities, also the natural elements that are present in the chakra center. And then you see that ruby coming out, the red color coming out through the petals, but that expands again into this yellow color. And each of these colors is very symbolic, and it gives us a deeper way when we use this Hindu model, this model that emanates from the Tantric philosophy. It gives us a deeper way of connecting to our chakra centers. And we connect to this ray through the divine guides, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, and Goddess Ixchel. The Svadhisthana is the second chakra, or sacral chakra. This chakra, once again, is normally depicted as just an orange an orange circular shape with a symbol at the middle, but here you see once again the divinity, all of the natural elements that are at play in the chakra center, and then emanating out through the center instead are these, it's like a crescent moon shape you see, that's almost like a gray, and then you see the color is called vermilion, which is like an orangey red that actually radiates out into the petals, and now this beautiful blue that surrounds the sacral chakra. So once again, the depth of the chakra is so much more than we're traditionally shown in the Western model that we're used to. So here we connect with the second ray that radiates through this chakra, and we're guided through it by Saint Germain and goddess Inanna. The Manipura is the third chakra, also called the solar plexus chakra. And here you see this radiant red radiating out into a blue and then orange. So there's this really intense interplay of colors coming through the chakra. Once again, in the Western depiction, it's usually just a yellow circular symbol. However, the Manipura, as all of the other chakras, there's this depth that is really represented in the model that involves the deities, the natural elements, and the true colors that are the original colors of the Hindu icons. And then we once again call on Archangel Michael that guides us through this opening of our Manipura, and the goddess Sekhmet. The Anahata is the fourth chakra, also known as the heart chakra. And this chakra here, you can see the multidimensionality of the colors, the deities that are present in the middle of the chakra. The divine guides that bring us into an opening and an activation of the chakra is Archangel Jophiel, Serapis Bey, and Goddess Lakshmi. The fifth chakra is the Vishuddha, also known as the throat chakra, and the fifth ray of divine light emanates through the chakra center. The divine guides Master Hilarion, Archangel Michael again, and the Native American goddess Butterfly Maiden guide us through an opening of this chakra. The Ajna chakra is the sixth chakra within the body, also known as the third eye chakra. And here, once again, that third eye is normally depicted just as an indigo color. Here we see the divine beings at the center of the Ajna chakra that are radiating out a sky blue, and then almost a peachy beige that moves out from that. And through merging with the colors, the divinities, the natural elements within each chakra, you can really feel how these traditional colors and elements give us a truer connection to each of our chakra centers. The divine guides Jesus, Archangel Gabriel, and the goddess Mau guide us to the opening of this chakra. And your seventh chakra is, which is known as the chakra of 1,000 petals. I didn't go through all of the petals and the other chakras, although we go through that in our course, but each of the chakras has a specific number of petals, and each of those petals is very symbolic in the energy that radiates through each of those chakras. So the Sahasrara chakra is the chakra of 1,000 petals. So this energy of a thousand beings, 1,000 elements, 1,000 states of mind present all at once. And this is the crown chakra, also known as the 7th chakra. We open to the 7th ray through this chakra with the divine guides, Master Rakuski, Archangel Metatron, and the goddess Shakti. Now, if you're familiar with your chakra system, you will know that there's usually, as we discussed, only 7 chakras that are normally focused on, and they all reside within your body. However, the additional chakras that are in our 12 chakra system are the transpersonal chakras. These are the chakras that exist within the auric field of the body and within the earth. These transpersonal chakras are awakened as we transition from the 3rd dimensional experience to a 5th dimensional reality. So you don't have to go through a chakra healing course like this in order to open your chakras. They can be opened naturally as you go through awakened practices in life, such as meditation, yoga, breath work, through mantra, and practices like that. So I'm going to dive into now the 12 chakra, the system, the transpersonal chakras. And I'm showing you this image because I love it, but it's not 100% accurate. It shows here 13 chakras actually, if you count them all out. And this very top chakra, which it says Divine Gateway Chakra. In our system and in many other systems, that top chakra is not always considered a chakra. It's sometimes called a portal. It's called a stellar gateway as well as a divine gateway. And so the 12 chakras include your earth star chakras and then 4 chakras that are above your crown chakra. Now your earth star chakra is located about 11 to 12 inches below your feet. Your earth star chakra is the layer of your subtle body that is shared with Mother Earth and with all of humanity. It is the chakra that helps you feel grounded, balanced, and at home in your body. Now, moving up your chakras to your soul star chakra, which now exists about 11 to 12 inches above your crown. This chakra opens you to the 8th ray, and the divine guides Archangel Razkiel and the goddess White Tara guide us to opening this chakra. This chakra is also described as the center where all the energy of space and time manifest. In other words, it is your greatest potential. The greatest potential that you have in your body on this earth at this time is held in your soul star chakra. And so through opening to that chakra, attuning to it and tuning into the energy at its center, you tap into the highest potential of yourself. Above your soul star chakra is your spirit chakra, and your spirit chakra opens you to the 9th ray of light, and the divine guides Archangel Zadkiel and Mother Mary are the guides that help you to open the chakra. And moving up again is the universal chakra, which opens you to the 10th ray of light. And the divine guides Ra and the goddess Sedna are here as guides to open you to an awareness of and connection to the energy at the center of this universal chakra. Now the galactic chakra opens us to the 11th ray. the galactic chakra is described as a chakra that is the last chakra in your system with thought. So it's described as consciousness with mind. So then if you look to the next, what's called here a chakra, but like I said, which is often just described as the divine gateway, you can think of that top image there that's called a chakra here really as the source of all that is, the great central sun, God, that energy, that source of all that is, that highest divine being is present in that stellar gateway, in the divine gateway there at the top. And so this galactic chakra is the last time that our mind is present with forms in it. And so this chakra also opens us up to the alignment with the Christ consciousness. So if you can think of this model of Jesus Christ, you have that divine gateway is like God, and the galactic chakra is like the Son of God, the closest one to God. So if you can imagine what that mind would be like, it is that Christ consciousness that you're embodying at that level. And finally, the divine gateway. And in this divine gateway, we're opened up to the 12th ray. And if you could imagine, it also opens us up to an alignment with our crystalline light body, which is, of course, what we talked about in our first masterclass. And so to give you another vision of this crystalline light body, if you could imagine that source that of all that is, God, our infinite provider, creating a fabric that became the shape of the cosmos. That fabric is the crystalline light body, which is the divine gateway, also called the stellar gateway. So it is like the framework of all consciousness. The crystalline grid, it is an energetic form that helps us to connect with that divine mind. It's pretty powerful to go through each of these chakras and to align with each of these chakras, and we do it through the attunement process. So how do we heal and open to our chakras? The how is with energy healing attunements. And so once again, just to review what attunements are sacred transmissions of energy that are initiations into a higher vibrational energetic frequency. So each of the chakras has this divine ray of light that emanates through it. And when you are attuned to the divine ray of light, you are given the gift of just experiencing that frequency. So the last thing that I want to mention about the attunements today is that attunements can be messy. So it sounds beautiful to attune to divine rays of light, and it is beautiful, and it is deeply healing and transformative. But it can also be messy. It can also feel uncomfortable. The attunements can bring up old emotions, and much like detoxing your physical body, the attunements detox your energetic body. And with that detoxification comes uncomfortable symptoms. And so just to be aware when you're moving into a healing practice like this, that you have to expect that discomfort, and you have to set your mind to completing the whole practice. Much like an exercise program, it can be easy to start get overwhelmed because it's hard, or it's making you sore, or you're tired, or you lose your motivation. The chakra healing process is exactly the same. You have to understand that there will be uncomfortable parts of this process. You will have to sometimes be motivate yourself to move through the healing and to be consistent with your practice, because it's through that consistent practice that the greatest healing, the greatest mental, physical, and emotional transformation takes place. And so we're going to move into how chakra healing fits into this concept of multidimensional healing that we are teaching here at Pleiadian Institute. Well, so true chakra healing is a spiritual experience, and this is why I actually developed this course. So this course was the first course that I ever developed. I actually created it before Pleiadian Institute existed, and it was because I saw so many chakra healing experiences that I felt lacked depth. I'm like a chakra healing junkie, so I've watched every film that they have on chakra healing. I've literally checked out every book from the library that exists on chakra healing. I've gone to Barnes & Noble and read every book. I've gone online and researched for years now. It's really been a central calling of my life, and it's so important for me to give others the depth of healing that can emerge from a true chakra healing process, not one that just is breathing you through those 7 colors in your body, but one that brings you into an experience of the divinity within you, because that is the central essence. When you look at all of those icons, you see that was the original purpose of the whole chakra healing practice. Our chakra healing process is also facilitated by these multidimensional beings of light that open you up to the attunement of these multidimensional realities. So the healing then occurs on multiple layers of your energy field. And this type of intensive chakra healing also helps you to embrace your awareness of and your connection to these multidimensional realities. And so in this way, it is a fuller chakra healing experience because it's one that helps you heal multidimensionally. And so finally, we are going to talk about Tantra. Tantra and Tantric philosophy is the origin of the chakra healing system. So if you can think back to like the Bible and the Buddhist sutras and the Quran, these spiritual texts were all being written during the same period of history, and during this time the Tantric scriptures were also being written, so that the Tantric philosophy emanates from these scriptures that are ancient, that are as old as the Bible. Tantra itself is a Sanskrit word. Tan means to expand, and Tantra literally translates into a word that means loom. So a philosophy that's woven together, the groundwork, a doctrine. And the process of Tantra that is presented in these Tantric scriptures is a process of coming into union with your spiritual awakened self through the physical body. And the points at which you come into union with your highest spiritual self are your chakra centers. And so through the expansion of your consciousness, the spiritual truth of yourself becomes known and realized. So in this tantric model, all of divinity is present energetically within the body. And that's what we saw in those icons. It's God, it's goddess, it's earth, wind, fire, it is alligators and elephants, and all of the universe is present within our chakra centers. The sun, the moon, the mountains, the rivers. And in this way, each chakra is its own microcosm of the universe. Each chakra actually contains the entire universe within it, within the colors, within the connection to the natural elements, within the deities. Tantric philosophy teaches us that these goddesses, this divine feminine energy, reside within our chakras, and that as humans, we need to connect to these deities through our bodies for total enlightenment. And so the chakras in this way become they are the centers of the energy. That energy flows through within our bodies, but they're also tools for opening to our divinity. Each of the chakras also contains a reflection of the other chakras. And this beautiful quote from the Tantric scriptures says, "What is here is elsewhere. What is not here is nowhere." And if you go back and look at each of the chakra icons that I presented earlier, you'll see that the colors are reflective, meaning the colors in each of the chakras are not just present in one chakra, but there's like the blue, the sky blue that comes through in multiple chakras. There is the vermilion color that also comes through in each of the chakras, so that the energy of, let's say, your root chakra is present in every one of your other chakras. It's just the same as the energy in your crown is present in each of your other chakras, which means that if you have a blockage in one of your chakras, it affects and is reflected in all of your other chakras. So Tantric philosophy in this way helps us to understand how spirit and matter are divinely interwoven, and how enlightenment is a process that includes your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. And so this is a really powerful concept when we can really understand it deeply. That the purpose is to realize that all enlightenment is found in what is right in front of you, so that those gods and goddesses that, let's say, in the past, traditionally we were taught, especially in like Western religions, to believe that these gods exist outside of us. What the Tantric philosophy teaches us is that these gods and goddesses are within us, as well as the earth, in the blade of grass, in your body, in your emotional breakdown, in your greatest successes, in your greatest failures, is divinity. Divinity is present in everything. Spirit, then, is manifest in everything. And by going through the chakra healing practice and really meditating on the divinity within each of your chakra centers, it helps you to stay aware of that divinity in every moment of your life. And that's what I would say for me has been one of the greatest gifts of going through this practice. Yes, the healing, the physical, the mental, the emotional healing has been amazing. but also just my ability to see the divine everywhere, in everything, in the bad and the good, in the hard situations and in the easy situations. There's an opening that I've had after moving through this practice. Now, the Western view of Tantra has really been all about sex. If you've heard anything about Tantra, it's usually sexually related. In fact, I was so fascinated by Tantra years ago before I ever got into chakra healing, and I went on Amazon and got every book that I could on the subject, and all of it was it was sexual. All of it was about sexual practices, how to open yourself up sexually using these tantric practices. And even though it went over the philosophy of what Tantra was, it was really only to help you open and expand your sexual practice. But that is really not the true essence of Tantra. The true essence of Tantra, like we mentioned, it's hundreds of scriptures that have been written that embody a way of seeing life. And so in many ways that was misconstrued when it was brought to the West, because the essence of sexual union is what they explain in the tantric philosophy as always happening in your body, so that it's not the physical act of outwardly having sexual union with another person. It's the sexual union that happens when the energies within your body, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, merge and open. So this union then of spirit and matter, of masculine and feminine, happens within each of your chakra centers. And through yoga, mantra, meditation, through breathing, visualization, and then guided by the divine beings, the goddesses within each chakra center, we come into union with the divinity within us. The divine feminine has a big presence in tantric philosophy and scripture. And that is why the goddess has such a presence within each of our chakra centers. Each goddess has divine virtues and also shadow qualities. And through embracing both the divine light and the shadow, we purify each center with light. And let me just explain for a moment. When you think of the divine masculine beings that we're often presented with, especially in the Western world, if you think of Jesus, even if you think of the angels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, if you think of the divine, even the Krishna and Brahma, they all have really just light within them. You don't see the shadow of Jesus or the shadow of Krishna or even the shadow of Buddha, but the goddesses have a definite shadow. They embody love and war. They embody order and chaos. And so in this way, they help us tap into our own shadow. So we cleanse, purify, and embody this divinity then. And it's an incredibly empowering experience to embody that shadow that's present within the divine feminine. It's so transformative. This David Frawley, if you don't know who he is, writes a lot about the tantric philosophy. He writes a lot about the goddess and the role of the goddess in tantra, and he really encapsulates the experience of what Tantra is when he says we may begin our spiritual journey with this philosophical idea of the absolute, or with this faith, this emotional faith in God or in a guru. But as the real experiential path unfolds, it becomes a play of light, of fire, of transformation. It's more energetic than mental or emotional. It's a transcendental encounter with a compelling power that causes us to go beyond ourselves and our idea of the world. And that has definitely been my experience with this chakra healing practice. So finally, we're just going to explore how chakra healing brings us into this state of transcendent health, because of course all of our courses here at Pleiadian Institute are designed to help bring you into a state of transcendent health. So first, the practice of chakra healing definitely helps us to experience physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual healing. It helps us to heal from physical and mental illness. It also awakens our inner power and begins the process of moving past obstacles using creative visualization. It's an intensive clearing and restructuring of old belief systems as we go through and radiate this divine light through each of our chakra centers. You're assisted in opening and cleansing your heart center, releasing anger, allowing forgiveness and healing to flood your body. It assists you in moving into a deep place of self-love. It helps you to remember your greatness, your deepest passions and desires. It also clears and brings your throat center into alignment with your heart through powerful meridian openings. It helps you to find the courage to speak your truth with love, to open to the healing power of the angels, to guide your thoughts and your words to an elevated place, to open your third eye center and to expand your intuitive awareness, to deepen your connection with your spiritual guides and your source energy, to realign with your holiness, to purify and to remember the eternal innocence within you, and to begin to radiate these qualities out into your world. It is a process and a practice that helps you to begin to walk in your fully embodied divinity on earth, to awaken to a higher dimensional living,